Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Expeditions Rome. We are facing Lurko. He is up here. Go ahead and tactical advance. See if I can release my companions.
Now you are going to die!
Okay.
Leave some for me, sister.
You made a big mistake, friends.
Let's see how you handle us when we are free and armed.
Indeed. Alright. There's a Medicus back here. I kind of like the idea of advancing him right into the fire. That seemed fun. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright. Elmandretta is definitely not doing the hottest on hit points. But I can sneak attack you. And execute you. That works. And shiv you. As much damage as possible. And one glancing, that's unfortunate. Alright.
Kill the prisoners! They are no longer any use to us. Lictors, lay down your arms and surrender, in the name of the Republic!
Oh! I didn't realize that was Lurko down there. Okay.
Drop your weapon, citizen. Step away from the consul. It pains me to say this, but you'll have to come with us.
Do as the Praetor says. There's not much I can do at this point.
Why did you do this?
Felt like the right thing to do. I've just avenged my father. This was always the plan. It was going to kill you, and no trial could have brought you back. The price was simply too high. Why did all of our people suddenly get tied up again?
Everything we've ever done. Was it all for nothing in the end?
I don't think so.
It's a selfless act, Kaiser. The final sacrifice of the finest commander Rome has ever known.
Goodbye, friends. This will be the last time we see each other. Uh-huh. Okay. Wasn't quite expecting that, but...
If you think that, you are maybe not as smart as you seem.
Let's go.
Well, that quest is done. As the game indicated.
You look miserable.
This is not the best bathhouse in Rome. I still look better than you. Yeah, let's go with the first one.
You don't smell like you've had a bath in a while.
I had a chat with Cato. He says not even Cicero can save you. Why did you do it? We were ready to die for you.
I'll tell you a secret. I just do things without thinking about the consequences. I would never let you die. You're my dearest friends.
Thank you.
I see no reason why we have to leave you in there. You may be waiting to be exiled, but they will never let you live. You're too dangerous. So, do you want to get out of here?
Where would I even go?
You can go to Egypt. Surely Cleopatra will protect you.
It sounds like a good idea, but will you come with me?
I will help you escape and accompany you until you clear the border. After that, you're on your own. My life just started to make sense in Rome. I can't miss this opportunity. Besides, Aulus needs me.
You know I'd come with you in the blink of an eye. If it weren't for my family. This hero's adventuring days are over. I'm sure you will understand.
My place is by your side. That I owe to my Magister.
I am with you. If there was any doubt, our love binds us.
Very well. Very well. A jailbreak sounds like an excellent idea. Let's go. I understand why some of you want to remain here. Very well. Let's do this. Thank you for the offer, but I'm afraid this must be the end of my story.
You've done nothing wrong.
Enough, Caeso. She made her decision, and we must respect it.
Wally, my friend, I will never forget you.
You did well. You did very well. Thank you.
Thank you for showing me the very best of Rome.
Oh,
The spirits will remember you. The winds will sing your name in their songs. This is not the end.
The sacrifice of the savior of Rome has long since passed into legend. The historian's task is often to distill true events from the myths that are shared among people. But in this case, it proves nearly impossible to do so. It is said that the execution of Rome's savior led to 12 days of sorrow among its people. Her corpse was taken from the temple by a mob stricken mad with grief.
Unus Brutus
and
achievement
burned
unlocked.
in a forum on a pyre built from the stolen furniture of every building on the Capitolium. Senators, eager to curry populist favor, declared her day of death to be a public holiday. Many built shrines of worship and reverence to their sacrificed heroine. Whether these accounts are untrue or perhaps exaggerated, one thing is beyond doubt. Though she had given her life to do so, she had saved the Republic from the brink of tyranny and the temptation of empire. It is thanks to her noble sacrifice that our democracy has only grown stronger and that our Republic endures to this day. Cynaros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cynaros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve.
That makes me think that you can save him
He had received
somehow.
forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Caeso left Rome with Lucia and their daughter. They traveled to Africa, as Caeso remembered the warm nights and the lush Nile Delta fondly. Here they found a place to settle and made a peaceful home for their family. Though their relationship was distant at first, their devotion to their child drew them together, and their affection for each other grew stronger through the years. To his surprise, Caeso took well to fatherhood, and soon he and Lucia had many more children. Despite her disillusionment with Rome and everything it stood for, Callida was at least finally vindicated in the eyes of the law. Around that same time, her mother passed away, and Callida reconciled with her brother Aulus, who she forgave for not standing up to their parents. Thanks to Callida's talent for spycraft, she deftly maneuvered the turmoil that swept across Rome in the wake of her friend's execution. And with her help, her family business thrived. After the death of his friend, Bestia returned to the arena once more. But he was no longer a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the example of his magister Cynaros. He applied himself to this new calling with every bit of the vigor and determination that had made him a champion before. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life.
Aww.
Though she had achieved her vengeance and forgiven herself for her misdeeds, the death of her beloved darkened Deianira's days forever. Though she did return to her family, she soon left them again for the life of a wanderer, shunning the company of others who would only remind her of what she had lost. Vitellius Scaevola left Roman politics and moved to Upper Latium with his wife Liviana, where they raised their children together in peace. Cato remained
Shouldn't
an
they have gotten
important
all of my
figure
stuff
in
too?
Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. With Mithridates dead and his sons lacking his ability to rule, Pontus was soon annexed by Rome. The region never again rose to prominence. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity.
I like that we're finding out about these people that we
Grateful
encounter.
for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed.
Wait, what?
Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia.
Didn't I kill him?
The gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Damianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly and without inordinate bloodshed. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Raya eventually returned to Memphis.
Yay,
and
best
to the
character
service
Raya.
of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Raya naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwytirchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arwerni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures.
I like
With
that.
his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. If the savior of Rome had fled into exile, would the absence of such a shining example of duty and sacrifice have left the Senate door open for another aspiring despot to take the throne? Or, if Vitellius Lurco had not been struck down on that stage, would the death of an innocent hero of Rome have served as an equally strong example to the citizens and senators? Most intriguingly of all, If the Legion had crossed the Rubicon on that fateful day,
Yeah, I like that piece of
might
art.
Rome now be no longer a republic, but an empire? One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.
And that was Expeditions Rome. That was a very good game. I still would say that Expeditions Viking was better overall. I enjoyed so many elements of that more. Achievement unlocked Julius Caesar, and achievement unlocked Mortuary something or other. Sorry, I went away too fast. The best elements of this game are, in a lot of ways, the same best elements of Expeditions Viking, and many of the not best elements in this game are just not present in that game. I liked the idea of having the legions and like, you know, building them up, making sure that they were better, you know, more skilled and stuff like that. I liked that. I just wasn't... The implementation could have been better if it had been different. And mainly it was like the war battles, very interesting when you got new stuff, but then after that it was just not so. Oh, and a side note, one of the artists here, Mandy Jurgens, or Jurgens, I'm not sure how her name is pronounced, commented on my first video to say that she did the artwork for El Mandretta, just like the other day, right before I recorded the session. And she was very pleased that I really liked it, and I did. I really did like that. I don't know what else she worked on in the game, but it is very, very... Like, that portrait especially stood out. Some of the others stood out as well. That one stood out the best, I think. And I really did like that. And that's, like, that is one place that I do think that this game stands above Expeditions Viking, is having the larger portraits. I just wish that there had been more. I wish more of the generic characters had portraits. You know, maybe not the random civilians, but I do think that all of the named civilians, even if they only showed up once, I think that they should have had portraits. Just because, like, there were a lot of... We got portraits for people who showed up, like, once. And that was it. Maybe there's more to them than that, but I kind of felt like back in Egypt when we encountered that woman smith, or the woman running the smithy for her husband kind of thing, it kind of felt like she should have had a portrait and stuff, and a lot of the merchants should have had portraits. Oh, well, I mean, it does cost money to commission them all, so I can understand them choosing not to do something like that. But still, I would have liked more. And to be fair, it's not like the previous games had a lot of those either. But, yeah, the artwork, very, very good. Mind you, the artwork in Expeditions Viking was very, very good, too. So it's like, can you really compare two things that are A+? Yeah. So I was very pleased to see that her comment and say that she liked it. And the cast: Adam Howden, Turius Orestes, Alexandra Metaxa. I'm wondering if I know any of these people. Carterix was not around very much to have a whole voice actor. I guess he had some lines in combat and stuff. But yeah, so the mass combat, I would really have liked that to have been more interesting. Like I said, it was interesting the first couple times that you did it, and anytime you got something new. But after that, when you didn't, it was kind of, okay, I gotta do this one, this thing, okay, let's do this again, alright, kind of thing. And it got a little old. I don't know if there's really a good way to do that, especially if you have as much in it as this. The other thing is, like, we definitely did not have enough legions for what we were doing. We should have had more. And, I think that would have been, really nice to have had more, you know, just, like, more, more legions that could do stuff so that, or at least some feel that there's more going on. It felt a little too gamey, the way that we were fighting those things and conquering the sections, and then we could still, like, conquer a land, and then, oh, here's where the story's going to take place. The end of the chapter's going to take place. It didn't feel like it felt a little too set apart. Like, you know, the fact that you have Phoenix down so I can revive people in Final Fantasy games, but you can't revive people outside of that in Final Fantasy games, kind of thing. Just, I don't know. But overall, I do think that the game was very good. I really enjoyed it. I think that they could have done a lot better on the historicity. They tried hard, but it also felt kind of superficial, because a lot of stuff wasn't correct timeline-wise. Like, the Egyptian stuff definitely, the Egyptian characters are way out of time, like, by hundreds and hundreds of years in terms of their equipment and stuff like that. On top of that, of course, Ptolemy and Cleopatra were Greek, and they should have looked the part. There's some things that I don't know one way or the other that I suspect are not quite correct, but I don't know enough to say for sure. I don't mind, like, a 50-year, like, okay, they're using equipment that's, like, you know, 20, 50 years early. Alright. Especially if it's iconic. But when you're talking about many centuries off, it feels a little... But this was a very good game. I did intend to go back and do the Asia Minor stuff, but the Asia Minor gladiator stuff. But to be perfectly honest, it didn't feel like viewers were all that interested or impressed by that additional content. It is completely optional and additional content. You absolutely do not have to use it at all. Obviously, I got, you know, that stuff came in well after I started the game, so I did not get any of the, you know, one of the characters would have come in as a gladiator, and they did not, which I think is Deianira rather than Bestia, but, they seemed interesting, and maybe if you really built them outright, they could be overpowered, but I didn't quite... I don't know. The gladiator stuff didn't quite grab me that much when I was fighting against them. It annoyed me, and maybe that would be a good thing, because if the enemies are annoying you, then that means that you'd be annoying the enemies. But, I don't know. But yeah, overall, a very, very enjoyable game. I definitely had a lot of fun. It would be very interesting. Like, there's a ton of replayability with other options that you could take and see where it goes. Like, you know, especially choosing to romance different characters or something like that. Obviously, I can, you know, like, dive right back in, load up my last save, and try to get a different ending. But I'm okay with how it ended. I like that. I was kind of hoping to get an ending like that. And as we were going into it, I was kind of thinking, okay, yeah, I'm kind of getting the feel that this is probably where I need to go to get the ending that I want. I had no basis, you know, like, no knowledge of that. I'm pretty sure if I had crossed the Rubicon, then we really would have gone down the Julius Caesar route of turning the Republic into an empire. And I kind of wanted to see if I could keep it a democracy. Like, it took me a little while to realize that they basically decided to have the game reenact Julius Caesar's life to an extent. Obviously highly fictionalized with other villains and stuff like that. I mean, we did get to see Pompey. We didn't get to fight him. And we had some of Pompey's people on our side, which was interesting. I don't know that we really got an impression of it, like, historically, of historical people who sided with Lurko, kind of thing. Oops. The timer. But once I realized that, and it wasn't quite when Julius Caesar got killed in the game. That wasn't actually quite when it hit me that that's what we were doing. It was a little bit after that, and I'm not sure why it didn't hit me. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the videos. Maybe there was an element in my mind of, oh, is that where they're going? I don't remember. I don't remember what I commented. It's been a little while. But, yeah, once that kind of came into focus, I was like, okay, I want to see if I can keep Rome a republic. And so I'm glad that I was able to do that. And I kind of got the impression that following the laws was where the designers were taking it. I know what they were going for. I'm not sure if Rome would have really operated that way. I don't know. I think with my power and influence and the number of influential friends I have, I think in reality I would have been able to get away with that. But, I mean, because, like, again, Julius Caesar was assassinated on the steps of the Senate, stabbed 44 times, I think, is the legend. And while they didn't get away scot-free, they got away for a significant period of time, leading to, you know, another civil war, essentially. Like, there was a second civil war over that, as the supporters of the assassins fought against the supporters of Caesar with Mark Antony and stuff. So, I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me on Expeditions Rome. This was a blast to play. I could definitely see myself playing it again to see what other options I could get. On the other hand, it's not easy to skip sections. I mean, you can, like, choose to not do optional stuff, but, like, there's a lot of battles and combats and stuff like that that you have to do in the meantime to get through. And I going back to, like, I've talked about doing another run through Expeditions Viking, but I'm pretty sure I'd fall into many of the same decisions that I chose the first time through. I talked about kind of doing like an evil run and being much more Viking, which, let me tell you, it is hilarious to see people commenting on that years later, be like, you're a Viking, you should play like a Viking. don't. Like, they put the option in there to not play as a stereotypical Viking and choose other options, because like, you know, they weren't all like that. So yeah, I like to play against type sometimes, like I did here, of not being the empire builder and stuff like that. So, yeah. It'd be interesting to see if anyone has comments like that on this playthrough. But yeah, I've talked about playing an Expeditions Viking playthrough and like the evil playthrough kind of thing, and I don't know. I think that I'd feel too bad doing some of that. Same thing here. If I did another playthrough, there's certainly some things that I would try to do differently to see what happens. But there's a lot of that I'd make the same decisions on. Anyway, I once again want to thank you guys for joining me. It has been a blast. I have been looking forward to this game. I had been looking forward to this game, I should say, since it was announced. And I had strongly suspected before it was announced that if they made another one, Rome was a very likely candidate. I hope they make another one. Even though, I don't think that this one was as good as Expeditions Viking, I do think it was a solid quality game. And I hope that they do something again, and I would be very eager to see what they decide to do next if they choose to continue the series, which I hope they do. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will be back with a new Let's Play next time. See you then, everyone.